Morning, y'all. Morning. I missed y'all yesterday morning, so I figured I'd go ahead and hop on here this morning. Waking up slow, but you all always wake me up every time. Every time. Y'all always wake me up. Every time. Eyes are still watery. Part of my brain still wants to go back to bed. But again, like I said, there's a light outside, so I can't. It's funny because I can take naps in the middle of the day. I can take naps just fine. Actually, this didn't start happening to me until this past year. But about 50, maybe even 60% of the time, sometimes the majority of the time, I don't even take a nap. I just meditate. I don't even be meaning to. My goal is to take a nap. And I'll lay down and I'll just go into a meditative state. It's so weird. I'll go into a meditative state, still consciously aware of everything that's going on around me for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then snap up and it just feels like I just woke up from a nap. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Man, y'all showed up with the quickness. Good morning. Good morning. Man, I had weird sleep last night too, Michaela. I think we all have. Leah's been complaining about weird. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Weird, funky energies. Are we going through another wave of that shit? When's that going to level out, man? you know? Uh, Going through another wave of weird energies. Gets annoying, man. Gets annoying. Here comes my Virgo again, talking like last time. Here comes the complaining ass earthy energy. I want everything to just function efficiently. Because we're raising vibrations, we're raising frequencies. And no, that's not always a fun thing to do. Not always a fun thing to do. I always try to make it a strong point to make that be known, Raising frequencies and changing frequencies isn't always fun. There's actually, if I think about it correctly, I think every time there's a major energetic shift, there's a part of it that's not fucking fun. I'm trying to think if I've ever had a big, huge energy shift, from one frequency to the next, where the whole thing was just fun. It was like, woohoo, No, it's not, man. Now, there are parts of it that is cool. There are parts of it that is cool, that is fun. But there is a big part of it that's not fucking fun. It's not fucking fun, man. And I don't mean to be negative, but I think it's kind of important that gets talked about, I think that's important that gets talked about because, I never expected that. You know why I never expected it? Because nobody in the spiritual community was talking about it. That's why I didn't expect it. That's why I didn't expect it. That's why it surprised me, whenever it came time to really, really learn, all right, what's all this metaphysical woo-woo shit really all about? When it came time for me to really start playing with it, I'm gonna quantum leap from one reality to the next. I realized, damn, there's a part of this that nobody talks about, and that's the part that sucks. Maybe if we make that a little bit more known and we start talking about that a little bit more people will grasp onto it and understand that that's a normal part of the process, and they'll go with the flow instead of trying to control everything, Maybe, I don't know. Anyway. No, I don't really. No, because shifts constantly happen. Constantly. And most of the time, well, like I said, right now, where we are right now is that we're having to learn manifestation. We're having to learn that within this next decade. Nobody's going to have to learn that. It's going to be common fucking sense. It's going to be mainstream common sense. Nobody's going to have to learn what manifestation is. Nobody's going to have a job like me. There's not going to be people like me talking about this Because once we unwire the old way of thinking, once we completely dismantle that old bullshit system, and we really, really, really get working on the new system, a decade down the line, nobody will be having to learn this shit, because people won't be coming into this system brainwashed. Not really, you know what I mean? People won't be coming into this system brainwashed, using their powers against themselves. So that's the biggest problem that we have right now. And I say that very inclusively. Okay. I'm right there with y'all. Right there with y'all. I'm still undoing a lot of my old programming and a lot of my old belief systems. I got them too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those of us that came in here to do this, crazy job, isn't it? Crazy job. Crazy ass job. And I know my kids are right there with it. Actually, my kids, I don't even know, because they just, like I've said, man, my kids came in here like with a different DNA. Like they just aren't affected by anything. Not really. Not like I was. I mean, it's hard to explain. But anyway. But anyway, hang on. Let me grab my lighter real quick. Hold up. Oh. Gotta get the good vibes in the air. Get the candles burning. There we go. Whew, I'm sore. I'm hoiting. Oh, I'm hoiting. I didn't even realize I was sore until last night. And that's when I was like, dude, this is how you know you do fitness. And it's becoming part of your normal frequency. When you're sore as hell and you don't even realize it. I didn't even realize I was sore until last night before I went to bed. Anyway, though. Yeah, there's something. I don't know what name you'd want to give them. Prism children. That's what when Naya talks about, the new kids that come in, she'd give them the name Prism children. And like she went through, and this fucked up too. Because because you all know that, I don't know, they say Naya passed away. That just doesn't even really feel real. If she's not on this planet, I don't know. I just think she just jumped straight to 5D. That's what I think she did. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different video. So there's no new content coming out on Naya's channel. She passed away or went to 5D or whatever the hell she did, wherever she went. So all her videos on there are old. They're like old. And I was watching one of them. I don't even remember the name of it. 2 or 3 nights ago. And she was talking about the Prism children. This was an old video. This was probably 2, 3, maybe 4 years old. Back when I didn't even have my kids and I didn't know anything about anything. You know what I mean? This was all foreign concept to me. And she pretty much described my kids. She described them down to the T. And I'm sitting there listening to it like, oh shit, Whoa. She says, there's going to be these Prism children that come in, and you long-term humans, that when the Prism children come in, they're not going to listen to anything that you say. They're not going to listen to nothing that you say. None of your systems are going to work on them. They won't be able to be controlled. They won't be able to be manipulated. And I'm like, oh shit. And she said it's mainly, and you can't put like times and dates on this shit. We always try to think linearly, like linear humans, and put time on everything. But and she knows this, but she said mainly kids born after 2012. And my youngest is the worst one. And she was born in 2012, So that was funny to hear. Man, I'm hurting. I'm sore. Whew. Anyway. Yeah, I've always felt more indigo-y. I don't know. I mean, man, when it comes to all the name, don't get hung up on that shit, by the way. You sit back and watch. People will argue over the stupidest goddamn shit. And all these little titles and names and all this little silly ass shit that people argue over. Just don't get hung up on that. But yes, I've always kind of felt like I was much more of an indigo, whatever name you want to give it, I very much understand. And it's as clear as day now, man. It's as clear as day when you because for the longest time, my biggest problem was I just was like, there's something wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. That's what I just always told myself. There's something fucking wrong with me. I don't belong here. I can't play these games and do these things like all the other people and all the other humans. I don't fit into anything, any human game that I try to play. I don't fit into any crowd. I don't fit in at any job that I go work. I don't fit in at any group of friends, or there's no clique on this planet, or there's nothing that I fit into, like nowhere, no matter where I travel, no matter who I meet, no matter where I work, no matter what the fuck on this planet, I don't fit into anything, you know? And it gave me the biggest complex for the longest time. And that's when it got to the point where I was just like, I don't even want to be here. I try to take myself out, you know? I don't even want to be here. Fuck this place. But now it's just like clear as day. And I'm almost kind of wondering. I mean, I know that we say that everything happens perfectly, and I know I've said that many, many times, but I do kind of ponder and wonder, what if I would have known that though? What if back when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I wonder if I would have understood that concept back then. Like if I could go back in time and tell myself, yo, just chill. You got a big, huge mission. Don't worry. Everything's working out perfectly. Just chill, relax. You know, this is what you're doing here. You volunteered to come help the evolution of the planet. You know, I wonder if I would have known that, if it would have made anything easier on me, you know, like if I would have handled things better. But then again, I don't think I was supposed to handle things very well. I think that was the whole point, was to drag me down to the lowest frequencies of 3D that you can possibly get to. The lowest, densest, thickest 3D dimensions where you're suicidal, and in that much, you know, you're going through that much turmoil and trauma and sadness and fear. I think I was supposed to experience that so that I could experience going down to the lowest frequencies you can get in human form and then raising up out of it, you know? Weird game that humans are playing, man. It's a weird game. Weird game, dude. Weird game. Yep. Part of the journey. Show is. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've heard people say that they say, I want to go home. Not really. I've never, that I can think of, had those. Maybe that's what the vibration was, but I've never had those words in my head. I mean, I just assumed that I don't know what I'm doing here. You know, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I literally, and it's so funny too, because I remember back when I was 26, you couldn't explain to me that my kids need me. You know, you couldn't explain to me you're needed here. You're loved. People want you here. You don't leave. It'll fuck everybody up badly. You couldn't have explained that to me. People tried. And I was convinced that my kids were better off without me here. I was convinced that the whole world was better off without me here. I was convinced of it. There was nothing you could say to convince me otherwise. And now, it's so funny how much of a turnaround I've made in my 30s now, that the main thing that keeps me alive, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not scared of that at all. Doesn't scare me at all. The only thing that scares me is what that would do to my kids and what it would do to Leah. That's the only scary thought that I have, is how bad that would fucking traumatize them if something happened to me. You know what I mean? So it's a complete and total 180-degree flip around, turnaround, you know, because I didn't used to think that way. Not even 10 years ago, man. I was 26 was when I was at my worst. Yeah, when I was 26, that was when it all came crumbling down and I was at my worst, you know. I think 26, when I was 2015, 27, whatever, you know, my early mid to late 20s. I was at my worst when I was 26, 27. It was when it was getting bad, dude. Getting bad. I think when I was 26, that year was 2014. And it was coming to a head at that point where it was just like I was planning hardcore. I'm getting out of this fucking place. How am I going to do this quickly, easily, and painlessly? So, you know what I mean? I was planning it. That was all that was on my mind. All that was on my mind. I could walk into a room and I look around like, okay. I swear to God, I'm not even shitting you. I'm about to take you down a dark tunnel in my mind, man. I could walk into a room. I would look around and I would find 20 different ways I could kill myself if I wanted to, you know? I could grab that pin right there and shove it in my neck. You know, I could jump out that window right there. Yeah, but if I lived through that, that would suck, you know? Or I got a belt on, I could tie a belt to that fucking thing up there, you know? I mean, this is the way I thought. This is how my brain worked back then, dude. And that was all that was on my mind. That was all that was on my mind. I don't tell very many people this. I don't tell very many people. This might be the very first time I've ever come public with this. It's just how bad it was. It was bad. That's all I thought about all day, every day. All I thought about. And then that's when near the end, matter of fact, it was like a week before Thanksgiving, 2014, where I tried it the first time and took that little trip over into the next dimension and talked to some weird fucking entities that were living in the house and then got revived from death. You know, somebody cut me down and did CPR on me. You know, I was like, well, fuck. I was almost there, God damn it. So then that's when I was like, all right, well, I'm going to plan this a little bit more smoothly than that. So I planned for another few months and then tried it again. And then that's when I woke up on the floor, the belt snapped, and I got stuck in a mental hospital. Police were knocking at the door. You know, that's what happened. That's what happened. And then they stuck me in a mental hospital. And when I was in the mental hospital, I was like, that's when I had like this revelation. I think that right there is when it really, when I would have to say, if there was a moment where my path, where the old me, that's probably what I killed. Honestly, I killed the old me. It's weird. I'm just now having this epiphany. I'm having it live right now. Y'all are watching me have this epiphany. Thinking back, it's like I killed the old me. That was the old me that I killed there, you know? And when I was in the mental hospital, that's when it clicked. I'm not allowed to leave. That's when it clicked. When I was sitting in that fucking mental hospital, I'm like, I'm not allowed to leave. I have not been legitimately suicidal since then. Not been legit thinking I'm out of here. Ever since I was sitting in the mental hospital, it clicked. I'm not allowed to fucking leave. Period. I'm not allowed to. I'm stuck here. And I had that 30 days. I spent 30 days in the mental hospital, and my job, bless their hearts, paid me 30 hours a week to be in there, you know? So anyway, though, yeah. And then once I got out of the mental hospital, everything just kept spiraling downhill and I lost everything and then went homeless. And that's when I went, let's see, that was May that I got out of there. June, July. I think I went August, about 3 months after I got out of the mental hospital. The tower was just hanging by a thread, dude. And I just clung to it for dear life for 3 months after that. And then it just fell. And then I went homeless and lived under the bridge and did that whole thing. And even then, even after losing everything, I wasn't suicidal. As it clicked, it clicked, dude. It clicked. When me waking up on the floor like that, seeing that broken belt hanging from the ceiling, and the police, the whole fucking police department was at my door, dude. That was so embarrassing. That clicked. You're not allowed to leave. You do this shit again, I'm gonna spank your butt. That's what the universe said. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this. This right here, what I just talked about there, that's some of the darkest parts of my story. Some of the darkest parts, you know? Hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, that's some of the darkest parts of my story. I mean, I talk about, you know, the parts that are relevant, that are really relevant. You know, yes, I went homeless, you know, and went from a bridge to a homeless shelter to a transitionary home to an apartment, and then, you know, work my way up. But I don't really talk too much. I don't cover too much about the journey that led me there. You know, it was bad. But anyway, anywho. Yeah, I'm glad to. I'm glad to. I'm glad to. Very, very glad. Very glad. I mean, and here again, here's the funny thing too. I was just saying, I wonder if I should, if me knowing that, should I, what if I knew that back then, you know? But then if I knew that, then I wouldn't have sunk down to the lowest vibrations of 3D that you can get to. Because that's 3D, and that's part of the game, dude. It's part of the game. That's part of the 3D human game. It's just part of it, So I think it all happened very beautifully. Very beautifully. Do, 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 do. Hang on, I got this for you. All right. There we go. There we go. Okie dokie. Anywho, yeah, I'm glad I'm still here too. I'm glad now, because if I could have gone back in time and told myself, dude, just chill, just relax, it's going to be all good. I probably, it wouldn't have happened that way. Like I wouldn't have even sunk down to that low place. And if I didn't sink down to that low place, I wouldn't be able to help people who are in that low place. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be able to. That's because that thing that I posted on my community tab the other day. Remember that? Hang on. That is why I posted that. This thing, where'd it go? This one? The healers. That's why I posted that. Because if you want to be a healer, we talked about this in the last chat. You want to be a healer? Or you sure? When I say healer, I mean you really actually help people heal. You sure you want to help people heal? You sure? All right. Well, the universe is going to make sure you know how to heal. And you only learn how to heal if you get fucking broken. That's the only way you can learn how to heal. Promise you that. There's no way around that. No way around it. There's no way to outsmart it. That's how the game is. That's part of the human game. You want to be a healer? You want to help other humans heal? The universe going to break your ass and make you learn how to heal. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. But it is cool too. And when Naya gets to talking about this game, and she's like, the humans love the contrast, they love the contrast of getting themselves into the most difficult situations and then raising up out of it. And then looking back on it like, yes, I did that, and now I can see it. I can see why it's a cool game. I have found myself more times here lately saying to myself, I see why the humans play this fucking game. I've found myself saying that for the first time in my life here over the past few months. I see why the humans play this game. It's exciting. It's exciting, It's exciting. Last night, we all as a family just took a quick little trip downtown to Circus and played in the arcade. And the first thing we all ran to was the virtual reality games, That's the first, and that's what, like, if you could imagine, that's what I always think of. I always kid around. I'm like, all right, let's go play Earth. Let's go be a human. Let's go put this mask on. Let's go play Earth. You be the husband, I'll be the wife, just playing around. But anyway, though, yeah, I've been finding myself saying, dude, I see why the long-term humans come here and play this shit. I see it now. I get it. I totally get it now. And then when you wake up or you die or whatever you do, you take the mask off and you're like, whoa, bro, that was fucking intense. Let's go do it again. I mean, and you can't even tell me that you have I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your sign is. You've at least known one person that gets addicted to a video game. You've at least known one person that get addicted to a damn game. Mm-hmm. You've known a video game addict. Oh, yes, you have. Oh, yeah, you have. Oh, yeah, you have. You may have even been one. Well, that's the same thing your higher self is doing here on this planet. It's addicted to this damn game. Addicted to it. Yeah, you can get addicted to this game. Oh, yeah. Yep. Your body gets addicted to the chemicals produced by negative emotions. Addicted to them. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Positively. Your body gets addicted to negative emotions. Mm-hmm. And yes, they've known this for decades. They do it to you on purpose. This is where you get some of the most negative people, some of the most negative minded people who are just angry all the time. My ex-wife was like that, dude. That was the first time I ever met somebody like that. You know, that's probably why it's pretty easy for me to handle idiots on the internet, because I was married to one of those types of people, you know, just mad, angry all the time, and would just turn on the TV and watch things that she hated just to be angry and just to bitch and complain. And I'm like, that is so fucking toxic. What is wrong with you? You know? But I mean, I was toxic as fuck too. I attracted her into my life back then. You know, I was a real low frequency. But there are people out there. There are people out there that are addicted to being pissed off. They're addicted to it. They're addicted to it. And when they can't find, oh, and it's real funny. Sit back and watch these people. When they can't find something to be mad about, they'll invent something. They'll invent something. And it gets, if you watch somebody desperately dig when there's nothing to be upset about, you watch somebody desperately dig for something to be angry about, it gets kind of comical to sit and watch. It's like, dude, are you that addicted to misery? Are you that addicted to anger and misery? And you just, I don't understand it. I hate being angry. I cannot stand that feeling. I don't like the feeling. I don't like it. Ugh, it's just so uncomfortable. I hate it. I can't stand being angry and being irritated and pissed off. You know what I mean? Ooh, coffee's getting cold. But yeah, oh yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, it's true. And there's so many people out there, dude. So many people out there. And it's just like, what are you doing? You know, you got to let them play their game. You got to let them, just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them play their game, you know? Yep. It's sad too. It's sad. And I think the most sad thing is when you look at these people like this who are just miserable, they're just fucking miserable. Their life sucks. It's horrible. And the sad part is you watch these people, they're under the illusion that they're angry because their life sucks. That's the illusion that they're under. They're under this mass illusion that they're only angry because their life is so horrible. But if you could just pop some sense into them and get them to understand that, no, you're not angry because your life sucks. Your life sucks because you're so fucking angry. That's the reason. You know what I mean? That's the sad part. You sit back and watch these people create horrible lives for themselves. And it's like, damn, dude. But you have to pop away. And you know that entity is playing that game that way on purpose for a reason. But it is still kind of heartbreaking to watch. It's like, dude, you're making yourself miserable. You're manifesting a bullshit life for yourself. You know, and there's some people, there's just nothing you can tell them. Nothing you can tell them. There's no words you can tell them. They will fight you every step of the way. You got to step back and say, okay, if that's what you came here to experience, if you came here to experience trauma and anger and misery and depression and just like the hardest fucking life possible, you have fun with that. You do that over there. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to manifest abundance and love and prosperity. And I want to enjoy life. I'm good with all that 3D misery shit. I'm good with all that. Nope. That's a cool game. Cool game the humans invented, but I'm good with it. Nope. Ain't my game. Been there, done that, played that game. I'm good. I don't want to play it again. I would not go back and play that game again. It is really cool. Like if you could look at it like a painting that was painted, you know, if that is a strange example, but if you could look at it like my life story is like a painting that was being painted, I would definitely hang that fucker on the wall. Like, but I don't want to go back and do it again. Nope. I'm good on that. Nope. Don't want to go back to 3D Earth. Nope. I'm good. That was not fun. I did not have fun playing that game. No. You know what I mean? So, so anyway. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Oh yeah. Well, I think, Mandy, what you're talking about, what you have to, those humans, that's the same thing. It is kind of the same thing. But what they're doing is they're trying to get down to 3D. That entity, that being, is trying to come here and experience 3D. You know, that's the hard part, because we've all known that person too. It's like, you know, your life doesn't suck. It's fucking beautiful. Well, best believe that person, whoever you're talking about there, they still have time left on this planet. They still have time left on this planet, and they're casting very negative frequencies for themselves. Very negative frequencies. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Your life doesn't suck right now. Keep casting them vibrations and watch how quick you fuck things up. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not even be this year, but at some point, you are going to manifest the fucking worst experience for yourself in this life with that mentality. All you got to do is wait. It's not if, it's when. It's eventually going to happen. It's eventually going to happen, you know? Eventually, you're going to manifest something horrible happening to you, you know? But yeah, but again, from the spiritual perspective, you got to pop away and say that entity is here playing a game. They want to play that game. Let them do it. Let them do it. Not my game. Not my game. Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite things to talk about, getting rid of anxiety. I love talking about that. First, we have to understand what anxiety is and how it works. You know, anybody know what anxiety is? You know what it really is? Fear of losing control. That's all anxiety is the desire for control and the fear of losing control. That's all anxiety is. That's all anxiety is. I don't care if it's like a legitimate worry, like I might lose control of it. Okay, that's cool. Or I don't care if it's not legitimate. Maybe you're just making it up in your head and have anxiety for no reason, like me. I had anxiety from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. Like I was puking almost. Like my gut was in a knot, puking anxiety all day, every day. Trust me, it's fear of losing control. Well, what the problem is, here's what we do. We allow that fear in the driver's seat. And we start letting that fear and that anxiety run the show and make decisions for us. So when you let that energy in the pilot seat, calling all the shots, making all the moves, making all the decisions, you know what that does? All that does is recreate and manifest more things that complement fear and anxiety. That's all it does. It's a self-perpetuating system. It's a self-perpetuating system. Mm-hmm. So me personally, the ride that I was on crashed and burned. And I found myself laying up under a bridge. Like, whoa, this thing that I've been so scared of for so many years happened. I'm here. This is my worst nightmare right here. And then this thing said to me, it's not that bad though, is it? Not that bad. Not as bad as you were afraid. Like it wasn't good. I'm not saying being homeless was great. It was hard, but it wasn't as bad as like the worst part about it was my fear. I was more afraid of it than what the actual experience was. You know what I mean? So then I started kind of realizing I don't have any reason to fear losing control. If this is the worst that happens, I don't need to really try to control everything. I don't even have any energy left in me to try to control everything and to try to that anxiety, that fear. Oh my God, what if this happens? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know, that I don't even have any energy for that anymore. So I take my hands off the wheel. Whatever happens, happens. All right, let's just do this then, universe. I don't even have energy to grab the steering wheel anymore. I don't even have it. All right, you just, it's up to you, universe. You do whatever you want to do. My hands are off the wheel. I don't have any energy to fight. I don't have any energy to control. Yeah, I was still anxious and nervous. No, what if this happens? Oh, well, it happens then. All right. That was my energy for the longest time. All right, well, here goes nothing. You know, here it goes. Whatever's going to happen, happens. I'm just going to let it happen. Whatever wants to happen, I'm no longer going to control. I'm not going to fight. Not going to force anything. Whatever happens, happens. You know? And then after a while, I'm like, nothing bad's happening. Once I stopped trying to control everything, things stopped falling apart. That's weird. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Once I took my hands off the wheel and stop trying to control everything. Does that mean that nothing bad ever happened to me ever again? No. I mean, I was still in difficult situations, but universe always had me. I never went homeless ever again. I never almost starved to death ever again. I never, found myself almost dying. Universe always had me. I always got you. Quit trying to control it and quit trying to force it and make it happen your way. And I got you. And that's when I was like, well, I don't even need to try to control anything. I don't even need to try to force anything to happen. All I got to do is just let things flow the way they naturally want to flow, And then whenever I start feeling some pushback, okay, I'll leave it alone, universe. I got you. Okay. And then after that right there, basically what you do is that's when the ego shuts up. The ego shuts up because anxiety is all ego based. It's the ego wanting to control the whole show. Once the ego learns that it never had fucking control anyway, first of all, second of all, it doesn't need control. And third of all, it can't control even if it tried. All it can do is fuck things up because the only thing the ego analytical thinking brain really knows how to do is keep recreating more of what it's already experienced. That's all it knows how to do. That's all it knows how to do, man. Whoops. That's all it knows how to do. It doesn't know how to create something that it's never had before. It doesn't know how to figure out something that it's never experienced. The only thing, the part that's nervous, the part that's anxious, the part that wants to control, all it knows how to do is keep recreating things it's already experienced. So whenever you successfully take your hands off the wheel and show this thing, it doesn't mean you're not going to be anxious. It doesn't mean you're not going to be anxious. All it means is that you don't let those feelings make decisions, and you just deal with the anxiety. Just deal it, stomach it. All right. Well, what if it happens? Okay, well, it's gonna happen then. Fuck it. That's what you got to say. You got to say fuck it. If it happens, it happens. Cross your fingers and brace yourself, and then you'll start to realize, universe got you. I got you. You're not gonna go hungry. You're not going to live on the streets. You're not going to almost die. You won't almost be killed. Let me do it for you. And then after a while, the ego starts to realize, I don't need control. I don't need it. Everything works out beautifully when I stop trying to control everything. Everything works out perfectly, beautifully. Everything flows like a fucking calm little spring. You know what I mean? It just flows so smoothly. I don't need to try to control anything. And after a certain point, I don't even really realize when, because that wasn't my goal. My goal wasn't to get rid of the anxiety. I mean, I'm glad that I did, but thinking back, I haven't had fucking anxiety for... When's the last time I had some anxiety, though? Well, other than, okay, I'm talking about like unwarranted anxiety. I think we've all been a little bit nervous over the past 2 years, Oh yeah, I've had some nervousness over the past couple of years as to what the hell is happening on the planet. But just general anxiety. I haven't had it in probably about 3 years. And I used to be a walking, talking anxiety attack, But you just got to get that ego to shut up. The only thing anxiety is it's the ego wanting to control things. That's all it is. It's always very simple. Very simple. It's very simple. It's this computer that we have up here that isn't as smart as it thinks it is. It thinks it's smarter than it is, and it's trying to control the show. Once it understands that it's not that smart, once it understands that it has no control, once it understands that it doesn't need control, that's when the anxiety goes away. Because you have to be able to feel comfortable taking your hands off the wheel and letting life flow all by itself. You have to be able to feel comfortable with that. And you got to get this thing up there understanding that there's nothing to fear. Okay? And this thing's not going to understand that there's nothing to fear while it is still creating more things that make it afraid. It's creating its own evidence. When you let this thing try to control everything and it makes all the decisions, all it's doing is recreating more things that complement the fear state that it's in. That's all it's doing. So it's a cycle. It's a violent, evil cycle. It keeps going around and around and around and around and around, you know? So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. Now, I think manifesting and visualizing I think that's the easy part. The hard part is learning how to fucking release and let go of it. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. Imagine you really do make 300 grand a year. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. What would life be like? And not only do you make 300 grand a year, but you've been making it for so long and it's nothing to you. Imagine that. I mean, live a day in that frequency. What would that feel like? I'll tell you what it feels like. You're not thinking about money. You're not worried about money. You're not obsessively doing the math on the price tags at the store when you're grocery shopping. You're not really paying attention. Well, I know a couple of people, like real old people, you know, from the old 3D days, but most people aren't really. I don't know about. I'm not concerned about the fucking price tag on the gas station. The gas. I don't even know how much gas. I don't even know how much gas costs. I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't give a fuck. No matter to me. That's what it feels like. So I got to put myself there now, making minimum wage. You know, I don't even know I'm about to go to work today. I don't even know if I'm going to make enough money to eat dinner tonight. How do I stop worrying about that? When it's time to go to the grocery store, how do I just go grab my bread, my milk, my cheese, and my eggs without even looking at the price tags? How do I program myself to do that, to not think about money, to not worry about money? There's some people out there, I was one of them, that obsess so much about money that when you don't need to think about it anymore, what are you going to think about now? Now, what are you going to think about? What are you going to think about? You haven't thought about that, have you? I didn't think about that. I never even took into consideration, okay, well, once that issue is taken care of, then what? Then what am I going to think about? What is this thing going to do with its time when it's not worrying about money? Oh, and there's another thing too. When you make enough money to feed the demons, that's another thing that nobody really thinks about. It'll awaken some demons in you didn't know you had. Oh yeah, they're lurking down there. Oh, trust and believe that. Oh, they're lurking down there. When you start making the money, I mean, I'm talking money that people dream about, you know, more. I mean, when you start making more money than your average doctor, and you know, some of the people in the highest classes, in the high class, you know, you start making that kind of money, it'll awaken some demons in you that you didn't know you had. Ask anybody. Ask anybody. I think I was warned about that. But I really didn't believe it. I thought I had the demons under control. Boy, I was an idiot. Nope, I sure didn't. I learned real quick what demons were sleeping in me once I started making enough money to not need to worry about, money. You know what I mean? So anyway, anywho though, again, I've said this 100 times. We're all headed there. That's why I'm telling you all this, because we're all headed there. Those of us who are on the right frequency. And if you're listening to me, I mean, I know that I have a couple of really, really toxic, miserable people who hate me, who just watch me because I make them angry. I know there's a couple of you. Okay, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who resonate with the things that I say. You know, if you're listening to me, you resonate with the things that I say. It makes sense. You know, these higher dimensional concepts that we talk about, you know, it makes sense. It clicks, and you're in a higher dimension than that third dimension. You're headed there. I promise you, you're headed there. You're headed there. Okay. Very, very soon, much sooner than you think, you will be living a life of abundance. We're headed there. And that's why I'm telling you all these things, so that you can kind of get yourself prepared, you know, because it's not just this, it's not going to be just this, fantasy. It's going to be a reality. And when it's a reality, there are some things that you need to take into consideration, you know, that I had to learn and am still learning the hard way. Because I've only been financially well off for like 3 years now. I'm still a noob too. I'm still learning as I go, you know? Absolutely. Absolutely, positively. Yep. So Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I talk about this so much, is because there's a shitload of you. Probably 95 to 98% of those of you who watch me, who at least on this channel, and you tune into these talks and this right here, who are headed straight there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. Yep. Yep. We are going to go through a nightmare financial collapse first before we get there, but we're headed there. We're headed there. Mm-hmm. Yep, we show is. How did I get the demons at bay? Whew, that's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. It's an inner battle. It's an inner battle. I still got like one or two of them little bastards that I'm dealing with still, you know, which as opposed to about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I probably had about 20 or 30 of them attached to me. I've gotten most of them, and it's really hard to say. I'm glad you said that. I haven't really prepared a speech or a lecture on that yet. Not yet, but I'll think about that. How to get them at bay well, I think the thing about it is, because like one of the last readings that I got, remember I told you I haven't had very many readings. One of the last readings that I got, I was asking about the demons that are attached to me, you know, and what she said was, she only mentioned it, made it sound like there was only one, and whatever. I'm not focusing on the wrong part of the story, but that what's attached to me now has one or two choices. It can either go with me to the fifth dimension, or it can go find a new host. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what I did. Just keep working on your frequency. Keep working on raising your frequency. Just keep working on raising your frequency higher and higher and higher. And the higher your frequency gets, they don't like that kind of environment. They don't like happiness. They don't like, well, that's tricky too. Oh, hold on. That's tricky too. Okay. Because sometimes there's things that they can do that make you happy, but it's not real happiness. Like they feed on addictive pleasures, things that you think make you happy, you know? So that's tricky too. That's a trick. That one's tough. That one's very tricky. But fitness is fitness. Oh, do you know how many demons I've identified on my fitness journey? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have become more connected to my body on this fitness journey than I ever have been in my life. Because those demons that are like, I mean, they're in part of your subconscious. Some of us have had these demons attached to us since we were little kids. You know, and I had a traumatic childhood, like most people do. And that opens you up then for them to attach to you, you know? So as far back, you identify as these demons. That's not really you. It's not really you. And that may be a hard concept to understand right now. And it was for me. It was really hard. I couldn't imagine in a million years. I thought that was me. I just thought that was me in there. No, it was the demons. And fitness, going into fitness and pushing my body to that point where it's under so much pain and so much stress and that I'm feeling like I'm about to die. That's when I started drawing that line in the sand. Oh, there's this other, the real me. You know, there's the body that's screaming in pain and then there's the real me. That whenever it's hard to explain, that whenever you get to that point of such physical agony, and then this other part of you takes control and keeps making the body go through that pain, then you start realizing there's me, and then there's the body and all the demons that are attached to it, you know? So fitness, I have shed many, many demons on my fitness journey, many demons. Because it has helped me draw the most definitive line between the real me and the ego and all the demons attached to it. You know, it's crazy. Working with Coach Drew on this fitness journey for the last year and a half has done wonders for my evolution. Wonders, dude. Wonders. So yeah, I forgot about that one. But anyway. Yep. Oh, your addiction is the antique store. Hey man, I ain't even gonna lie. I realized too that I have a knick-knack addiction. Knickknacks and doodads, that's been the latest battle that I've been fighting. My latest battle that I've really been fighting has been my knickknack addiction. You know, just a stupid little worthless ass, bullshit ass knickknack. You know what I mean? Man, it's only $10. Let me buy that. That's cool. That's been my latest battle. There's that's I'm with you on that. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Buying stupid little knickknacks and dumb little bullshit, That's been my latest one. Been my latest one. It indicates that there's some kind of void in there. What void am I trying to fill with these little bullshit ass knickknacks? Phone cases. I buy different phone cases. I probably own 30 or 40 phone cases. You know what I mean? Just stupid little knickknacks, bullshit. Crystals. That's a good addiction. Yeah. Oh yeah, in the spiritual stores. Yeah, man. Yup. Man, you take me to the right spiritual shop, bro. Man, the first place I go to is the tarot. That's the first thing I do is I go over there to the tarot cards. I want to see if there's a deck here that I don't have. It's the first thing I do, and I'll usually at least have one deck in my hands. And then I go over to the crystals and the necklaces and the jewelry and shit like that. Absolutely. Yup. What? Hang on. Oh, okay. You don't spend money on things, Leandro. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could do that, man. I get bored so fucking easily. I would have so much. I mean, we do have, money saved up, but we would have more if I didn't get bored so easily. If I didn't get bored so easily, we'd have more saved up. I don't know if it's a whole lot, if it'd be a substantial, noticeable amount, probably, but yeah, I get bored, man. I want to go do something, and even I've always been this way. Even before I made money, even before I had money, I got to go on a walk. Got to go do something. Got to go on a walk, Just always had that bored, restless. I got to do something. I can't just sit and do nothing. I go stir crazy, Yeah. Barefoot gypsy. Okay. That sounds cool. That one sounds cool. I tell you what, though, man. When that little town that I lived in Maine, when I very first started reading tarot, I don't know if I've seen a few people who live in Maine. I don't know if I get any Mainers that are going to watch this or watching this now, but I lived in Farmington. Okay. And I worked at the Farmington car wash, and this is the teeniest little town, dude. Neat little town, man. I'd love to be able to visit the place again one day. Like if they ever, sometimes I sit and think, I wonder if I could ever get a movie made about my life and my story. You know what I mean? And that'd be cool to be able to film my part of my story up there in that little town. That'd be cool. But anyway, I'm trailing off. That little town, Farmington, Maine, and they had a little spiritual store called Liquid Sunshine. And still to this day, that was in the top 3 neatest spiritual stores of all the little spiritual stores that I've been to. Of all the ones. Yeah, I know I need to write a book. I know I do. I'm being lazy, y'all. I know I need to. I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy as fuck. There's a lot of details. I don't know where to start the story. I don't know where to. That would just be. I got a demon in there I'm battling for that. I'm lazy. Sitting down and thinking about it and writing it all out and this and that. And it wouldn't. I'm going to tell you right now, though, it would make one badass book and it would make one badass movie. It would. But I'm just too fucking lazy to sit down and think about it and write it all out, But I've had for the past couple of years now, I've had something in me eating at me that I need to do that. I need to write a book or write a movie, so hire a writer. I know that's what Chris did. The book that I'm in a book. For those of you who didn't know, I don't have it up here, but my buddy wrote a book and got it published called Disasters to Dreams, a gritty guide to finding success in the face of failure. And I got a little spot in that book. I'm in there. And that's what he did. He said he hired a writer for most of it. you know, and that's probably what I should do. Probably what I should do. I probably should. I don't know. Anyway, though. I don't know. I don't know. The beginning, man. I mean, if I really wanted to sit and tell my whole story, not my whole life story, I think, like, if I was to imagine my story up till now being like a movie, it would probably make more sense to me to start like right before I left my wife, you know, right before I left my wife, because I left her and then got the kids. She hit me up and had me come take the kids, you know. So I was a single father, alcoholic, fucking suicidal, you know, and then that's when my whole life fell apart and I went homeless from that point. So that probably, but man, that's just a lot of digging. I don't know. We'll see, y'all. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I might. It's getting about time for me to head out of here in a couple of minutes, though. Getting about time for me to head. I don't know. That's the thing that I'm still thinking about. What to do when we get bored? What to do? You know, people always act like the other night. Well, this is the reason why I didn't come on here yesterday morning is because Leah had a friend over. Leah had a friend over and stayed the night, and I didn't want to get on here because the guest bedroom is just right on the other side of here, and I didn't want to sit here and wake her up. But night before last, she had a friend over, and they was wanting to play games, and I'm not a big game person. Like, you know, board games and card games and shit like that. I'm not real big on all that. And she was like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Nothing. I'm boring. I don't do anything. I'm boring and I get bored." It's a weird. I'm boring and I get bored at the same time. But the things that entertain me, you know, when I'm bored, I'll sit around at best. If I'm being a really good boy, I'll sit around and just do research. Do research. Do research. Listen to spiritual people tell their story, or just I'm constantly trying to. I still somewhat have that mindset of I'm thirsty for knowledge, you know, thirsty for knowledge. Now, this is the crazy part about it. Back when I was going through a lot of difficulties, and I was wanting to learn manifestation, and I was wanting to learn, you know, how to manifest a better life for myself and this and that, you know, I was never bored. I was never bored. I was constantly researching and oh man, it was so fun. I could sit around for hours and I was never bored. But, you know, okay, I figured all that out. Now what? Now I'm still bored. Now what? You know? So I'm still my mind is still looking for that next thing, you know? So researching where we're headed collectively is kind of what I do now. Researching where we're headed collectively as humanity and how I can help assist during that process, you know? So anyway, though, about time for me to get out of here, y'all. About time for me to get on out of here. This hour just flew by again. Greatly appreciate all of you for tuning in and listening to me blab, man. I love doing this. Love doing this. Today's Sunday. Again, I know I always say what I'd like to do on my main channel, and almost every time I say it, it doesn't happen. But I got a couple of personal readings to knock out this morning, and then I'd like to get the weekly forecast done, and then maybe a couple other December readings. But anyway, I'll see you sometime later on my main channel. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.